Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to step away from the flag. The airport manager's voice cracked through the tension, firm but unsure, as his hand hovered just inches from the casket draped in stars and stripes. The Marine didn't flinch. His gloved hand stayed firmly on the flag, back straight, eyes forward, silent. Passengers had paused mid-step. Conversations went mute. The air felt heavier than the weight of the world. And right there, at Gate 42B, a war was quietly being waged, not with bullets, but with dignity. I said, "Step back. You're not allowed to handle the cargo," the manager repeated, louder now, gesturing to security to approach. He didn't understand. He couldn't. Still no response. Finally, the Marine spoke, calm and measured, like he'd rehearsed it his entire life. "With all due respect, sir, this isn't cargo. This is a Marine, and I will not leave his side." A TSA agent stepped forward. "Look, we have protocols. You're delaying operations." The Marine slowly turned his head, locking eyes with the man. "There are protocols. And then there is honor." Behind him, the American flag lay perfectly stretched across the casket. No wrinkle, no fold out of place. Beneath it, Corporal Jake Morrison, killed in action, 23 years old. He'd never made it back home on his own 2 feet. Jake wasn't just another soldier. He was his soldier, the one he trained, the one he laughed with, the one he carried through the Afghan hills when Jake twisted his ankle on patrol. Now he was carrying him one last time. The Marine Corps had assigned him as the escort, a sacred duty. No excuses, no interruptions, no letting go of the casket from the moment it left the plane until it was handed over to the family. But this airport, they didn't care. They were running behind. Luggage needed moving. Gates needed clearing. What was one more box to push along the track? "Sir," the manager said, eyed again, clearly annoyed. "This is not a funeral home. We don't do ceremonies here. Either step aside or we'll remove you." He could have explained. He could have told them about the code, the centuries-old honor of guarding the fallen, the silence, the watch, the salute. But something deeper rooted him in place. Memories flooded back. Jake talking about home, his mom's lemon pie, his dad's fishing trips, his sister's graduation he'd missed. The way Jake used to hum Country Roads after every mission, joking that it was his soul's GPS. This wasn't a delivery. It was a goodbye. And the only thing that separated it from being forgotten was him. Just then, a small voice cut through the rising tension. "Why is he touching the flag, Mommy?" A little girl, no older than 6, clutching a tiny teddy bear, had wandered up beside the crowd. Her mother hushed her, but the Marine looked down and gave a soft nod. "Because he's making sure someone gets home." The manager looked shaken. The security guards paused. Something was changing, like the weight of sacrifice was finally being felt. The Marine bent slightly, his voice just above a whisper. "This man gave everything. This flag is not decoration. It's a promise." And with that, he began to walk, slow, steady. His hand never left the casket. He led the honor march through the terminal, not because the airport gave him permission, but because duty didn't ask for it. People began to stand. Hats came off. Hands went over hearts. A veteran in a wheelchair saluted. Tears streamed down cheeks. No one moved. Phones came out, not for spectacle, but remembrance. Someone began to softly sing the national anthem. Others joined, and there in the middle of a bustling airport, time stopped. By the time they reached the family waiting at the gate, the Marine's gloves were soaked in sweat. His spine ached, his throat burned, but he didn't waver. The mother collapsed into tears the moment she saw the casket. The father saluted, trembling. The sister dropped to her knees, whispering, "Welcome home, Jake." The Marine stood in silence. Then, and only then, did he slowly release the flag, folding it into a perfect triangle. He knelt and placed it in the mother's hands. He didn't die alone, he said. He was loved. He was honored. And as he stood up, every passenger watching in silence, the airport manager, shaken and red-eyed, stepped forward. I didn't understand," he whispered. "I'm sorry." The Marine gave a single nod. "Now you do." Applause broke out, not loud, but slow, respectful, a chorus of realization echoing down the terminal walls, because in that moment, America remembered